Who makes the best OMT blade for cutting metal? These cordless oscillating multi-tools have been out for several years now. In fact, many of the manufacturers are on generation 2 or even generation 3 of their cordless multi-tool. Now, in the same manner, blades have gotten better and better, but most of them have been pretty specific to wood or at least bimetal. In other words, being able to cut through some wood and hit a staple or screw or nail every now and then, and maybe cut through one or two of them before they're ruined. But lately there's been specific metal blades that are meant to cut supposedly like construction steel and angle iron and cut through screws and nails and do it repetitively. But can they really do it, and who makes the best? Well, we're going to put a test together to hopefully get down to the bottom of who does make the best oscillating multi-tool metal specific blade. Okay, pretty simple test today. We're just trying to find out who makes the best all metal oscillating multi-tool blade. There's been tons of testing done on, wood cutting and even bimetal stuff where you're cutting through a staple every now and then. But there's been some releases recently with carbide teeth and the OMT blades, and being able to have an all metal blade where you can actually cut some more, structural type steel, angle iron and such. So really haven't seen anything on who makes the best one, or a lot of testing on that. So we're going to try to find out. So let's dive into each one of these, and we'll talk about pricing or cost on each of these, and then we'll go through and explain our test and then do the testing. Well, let's first talk about each of these blades and the cost on these. And by the way, all of these were purchased at a local Lowe's or Home Depot, depending on the brand. I believe it was the Bosch and the DeWalt was purchased at Lowe's, and the Diablo and the Milwaukee was purchased at Home Depot. So this is the Bosch blade. It's called their Carbide Extreme, and it's meant for metal and more, says heavy duty. If you take a look at the blade, obviously you got the Starlock design that I believe they've patented, and on the blade it says metal and more extreme carbide. So you have a carbide tooth blade. Price for this by itself was $22. A 3-pack is $36. So if you bought a 3-pack, then you'd be looking at an individual cost of $12 each, right? 36 divided by 3, I believe that is 12. And next up is the Diablo with the carbide teeth. And this is, again, their metal blade. Has their black ice coating that's supposed to keep down heat as well as help extend the life of the blade itself. Now, pricing on this is you can get a single pack for $20, or you can get a 3-pack like this that was $40, I think $39.97. Now, if you bought the 3-pack, then an individual cost would be $13.33, $13.34, something like that. So a little over $13. Then this DeWalt is just called their metal blade. On the blade itself, it has a picture of like an I-beam, like it's for construction steel. They had another bimetal blade, but when you actually look at this, it says bimetal. I really couldn't see if DeWalt had another option, but this was the only one in the store we were at. And we looked online as well, and really, again, haven't seen anything. I believe this is just kind of a coated high-speed steel blade. So not sure how well this is going to do, but again, they had it listed specifically as a metal blade. Price on this is $25, and we couldn't see where you could buy this in a multi-pack at all. So again, individual price per blade is still going to be $25. And this is the Milwaukee Extreme metal blade. It's their what they call their nitrous carbide. I believe it's it is a carbide tooth, but also I believe it has a coating that's supposed to, again, extend the life and help it last longer, keep the heat down, and so forth. Now, these blades are $25 each, and a 3-pack is $50, so probably the highest even in the multi-pack. So at 50 divided by 3, you're still going to be at $16 and 67 cents. So now let's talk about testing. Again, going to be pretty simple. We're just going to take some angle iron here. I believe this is 1-inch angle iron, 1/8 inch thick. And we're going to make 3 cuts on these with each of the blades. And then after we make the 3 cuts on this, then we're going to see how many of these screws it will knock out. So we have a row for each one of these blades. Not sure if any of them will get through that. These are 25 screws. Nothing special about any extra hardened screws, but they are just, they're just number 12 by 1-inch steel screws. Okay, so we are set up and about ready to roll here. We've got our piece of angle iron kind of screwed down, fastened down right here where it's nice and solid. We've got our wood clamped down here. We'll make the cuts with all the blades in the steel before we get started on the screws. We will be using the same multi-tool for this. We're going to use the Milwaukee. This is the new M18 Fuel oscillating multi-tool, and the model number is the 2836-20. I believe we're going to put it on like speed 8 and leave it there. We could put it in auto, but I'm just going to leave it in 8. We know we want something more than half, but I don't think we need wide open, so that's where we're going to leave it. We've got a few 5 amp hour batteries that are all charged and ready to go. We'll make sure there's a full charge on each of these blades or on the battery before we start each one of the blades. Let's get the first up, and we'll just go alphabetical order so we make sure that we're not giving some sort of priority over anything. And with the Starlock on the Milwaukee, we have to take the screw all the way out, and you have these magnets here, and it should line up. Yep, we're good. Then just finger tight and pull this down, and we should be locked in and good. Now I know we're using a Milwaukee multi-tool for this testing, and we have Milwaukee blades in the test too. And just to be fair, I made sure that I had my Diablo safety glasses on. Sorry that I don't have a pair of DeWalt or Bosch gloves. But anyway, let's get started. Okay, the Bosch blade made it through those 3 cuts. Doesn't look to have any missing teeth. Little worn teeth it looks like. But good job on the Bosch. Let's move on. Now on the DeWalt blade, I don't have to take the screw all the way out. I can just ease it under here and let those magnets hold it. Now again, I can finger tighten this. Bring the clamp down and we should be good. Let's cut our steel. Not bad. I will be honest, I was scared it wouldn't make it through that because it is only a coated blade and not supposedly carbide teeth, but made it through those cuts rather well. and no missing teeth. Again, a little wearing, but no missing teeth yet. Now we have the Diablo blade, the metal blade with carbide teeth. Still a full battery, and still in speed 8. No missing teeth after the 3 cuts. There are some worn teeth that looks like it's starting to wear, but made it through those cuts very well. And now we have the Milwaukee Nitrous Carbide, which is their extreme metal blade. Still full battery. Still in speed 8. Here we go, 3 cuts. So with the longer blade, and if you would have noticed on the Diablo, I could have extended it. There's 2 different places where you can mount the Diablo. I chose the shorter stroke, in other words, the shorter blade, and gives it a shorter stroke. The Milwaukee is only long. That's the only position you're able to do it. You can definitely notice it in that longer stroke in the fact that it's very aggressive. In other words, it was really wanting to shake, and as you saw, it actually, loosened up my clamp. I had to reclamp that. Now, there are no missing teeth, and it seemed to cut absolutely fine. You can just feel it in the tool that it's more aggressive with that longer stroke because it is further away from the axis of the oscillating multi-tool. We do have some worn teeth, and we may have a chipped tooth right there in the middle. Let's see if that's going to affect it. All right, same idea. We've got the Bosch blade back in here, and we're going to start on this line of screws right here. So this is the Bosch lane. We're going to see how far we can get, and if we get through all 25, we'll time on how long it took to get there. Still on speed 8. Still have a full battery. Let's go. Wow, impressed. Did not think we'd get there. Obviously a few teeth missing from the Bosch blade, but it was still cutting. As you saw, I was trying to cut in different spots of the blade to just be fair and just kind of roam all over the place. But there at the end, I was kind of having to find where it was cutting in order to make it through those screws. But it did it. Went all through all 25. Okay, we've cleared the shrapnel out of the way, at least moved it over to the table, and tried to make a nice clean surface for the DeWalt blade. Not sure how well this is going to work. Again, this is like a high-speed steel coating, so like a bimetal blade, but again, they label this as a metal blade. So let's get started. Again, speed 8, still a full battery. No go. It started to make a mark, but as you can see, pretty much all the teeth are gone with the exception of these 3 on the end and 2 on this end. So as far as cutting fasteners, not a good choice. Made it through the angle iron okay, but just not through these fasteners. Okay, we're back in the swing. We've got the Diablo blade now installed, still on speed 8, still have a full battery. Let's go. Well, it made it through all 25. There are some teeth missing on there. In fact, quite a few on the end and very worn down there in the center. As you saw, I was trying to find spots where it would actually cut, but still made it through all 25. And finally, we have the Milwaukee nitrous carbide. Let's see how well it does on these screws. Up. Make sure we're in speed 8. Up, we have a drop cell, so let's go. Full battery. All 25, no issues, and was still cutting pretty strong there. We definitely have some worn teeth and maybe a couple missing teeth, but for the most part, the whole blade was still cutting when we finished there. In fact, as far as speed there, it was much faster than when we cut the angle iron with this. Now, the beginning of this test was quite interesting because we saw DeWalt jump out there in the lead when it came to just cutting the angle iron. So here's a non-carbide tooth blade that's just a coated steel blade jumping out to a lead with just 45 seconds in cutting the angle iron. Now in second was the Diablo at 53 seconds, and in third was the Bosch at 61 seconds. And Milwaukee, with their Extreme Metal Blade, was at the bottom at 64 seconds. Now there's no way they were going to be able to make up that gap and prove to anyone that they were the best. And could Diablo even leap over DeWalt? And was Bosch going to run ahead of all of them? Well, we were really curious to see. The bottom line is the next segment of the test really actually showed the whole picture. In other words, what we think happened was the Milwaukee necessarily didn't get faster, but it just never slowed down because it made up more than a minute in the second series of the test of cutting those 25 fasteners. And you can really tell that as we're cutting each one of those, even though we sped up all of those in the middle just to keep you from being bored to death, but it was at just a minute and 15 seconds cutting all 25 screws. Now the DeWalt couldn't cut through one screw, and the Bosch did all 25 in 2 minutes and 18 seconds. And oddly, it took the Diablo 2 minutes and 45 seconds to cut through the same 25 screws. So in the end, you had the Milwaukee at 2 minutes and 19 seconds total, cutting through the 3 cuts of the angle iron as well as all 25 screws, all complete in 2 minutes and 19 seconds. And then you had second was the Bosch at 3 minutes and 19 seconds total, a full minute behind the Milwaukee. And in third was the Diablo with a total of 3 minutes and 38 seconds. And of course the DeWalt was able to cut through the steel, but then couldn't even cut the first screw. So if you're looking for metal blades, there you have it. There's our test results. Yes, the Milwaukee Extreme Metal Blade is a few cents more a blade, or maybe a couple of bucks per blade more. If you're buying these multi-packs, of course, you're going to save more, and I think you can even get them in larger bundles as well. But if you're wanting the fastest, it's that. If you're wanting that second, then you may want to reach for the Bosch, which was interesting because not a lot of marketing hype behind the Bosch metal blade, but we saw that it leaped ahead of the Diablo, which we were very surprised at. Diablo metal blades are usually some of the best, if not the best, when it comes to reciprocating blades or even circular saw blades, anything for cutting metal. Usually they're top notch. So to see it fall behind the Bosch, we were very surprised at. But hey, let us know what you think about this. Let us know if you know of any other metal specific oscillating multi-tool blades. Hey, keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. And if you don't mind, would you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already? And by all means, if you hated our video, well, give us a thumbs down. But would you let us know in the comments why? Have a great day. Keep smiling.